Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today it's another day, indeed, Restoration Talks, and we are here, indeed, with a new topic: the Holy Days of Israel. So I'm really curious how you guys are all doing. In the comment section, let us know how you guys are doing. If you are here online, make yourself known. Make yourself known because today we are having an interesting conversation again about, as I said, the holy days of Israel. And I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I have two wonderful sisters who will join because we also asked some questions in the Insta live in the Instagram and so there were two notions people responded. So I'm really curious what how those people uh, react and how those people are. I hope they will also join the live. I hope they will also join our conversation so that we may see that indeed is it true, yes or no. Without further ado, let us invite the panel members.
Hello.
Hola, hola, hola,
Hola,
hola.
hola. Always hola.
Um,
Mhm.
so, ladies, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for tuning in. As you might know, today the topic is the holy days of Israel. Of course, why holy, not holiday? Other people might call it holidays. So just be aware that we might talk about the same thing, but of course, it's derived from the word holy days because it has
Yeah.
been also derived from set apart day. So
Mhm.
this may be a bit of context for people to understand what do we mean with the holy days of Israel. Why so specific Israel? People might say, no, we are no more under the law. What do you mean? Why? And so that's why we are having this conversation and to see everybody's mind. I hope those people, I hope people are also joining in. Maybe within a few seconds, we will start the conversation, indeed, about the holy days of Israel. So, thank you very much once again. This is Restoration Talk. Tomorrow we'll have a conversation, not even a conversation. Tomorrow we'll have a teaching about
Yeah.
this topic. So please join in at 12 o'clock CET, right?
Mhm.
To say, is it PM or AM?
PM.
PM.
Michelle.
Oh,
Michelle. 12 o'clock PM indeed. So yeah, let's start right away with the first notion.
mhm.
Mhm.
Oh wait, before we start, maybe we have so somewhere maybe you might introduce yourself a
No,
bit.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
know me.
new,
They know
new.
me. They know
Oh,
me.
they
They
know
You
don't
you,
know.
guys
huh?
know me,
Them.
so no
Yeah,
introduction is needed.
because I must be away for a long time. Welcome back,
Not a
welcome back.
long time.
Welcome. Long time. Yeah, that's always long.
Long time no see, wow.
What
Yeah.
Long
is
time.
long time? Long time is
It's relative. Einstein
years.
would say it's relative. It's relative. Yeah. So let's keep so the first notion. Passover and Easter are the same holiday or holy day. For some who might not know what Passover or Easter is, I will give a bit of context because
Okay.
that's also easy for people to understand, but maybe to make it a bit interactive. Helena, what's maybe you can explain what's Passover?
Wow.
Ik wist echt dat je dit ging doen.
No, you know me. You know me.
Yeah, I know you, of course. Now, the Passover has to do with like the time that the Messiah was being crucified, and they have linked it with Easter, but Easter has nothing to do with the Messiah. Easter is actually a pagan.
You go too fast. Just
Oh,
explain that.
Oh.
sorry. Oh, sorry.
Relax. You have to build a bit up.
Sorry. Oh ja, die vraag wat was
You
Passover.
build just what
Oh,
is that?
sorry.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Stephanie, anything to add?
Yes, I have something to add. One thing also, which is I think very important to know, is that it also goes back further in time, in ancient times of Israel. It is also a day of remembrance whereby
Mhm.
Elohim showed himself through some of the miracles that were performed, or not miracles, but the 10 plagues, I must say.
Yeah.
And one of
Yeah.
the plagues was that the people of Israel, they needed to put some blood on their doorpost, above
Okay.
their doorpost. And if they do that, then the firstborns will be safe. And those
Right.
who don't do that, they will be slaughtered. And that happened eventually. So it is actually also a sign that Elohim saved his people, and his power is actually above any other powers or any other gods in Egypt. So they were also commanded, like the people of Israel were commanded to um, observe this day and to
Mhm.
have their mind also on Elohim as well. So that
Okay.
is also a thing.
Okay. 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 So then, so that's then indeed the context. It has be played out, of course, in the New Testament. It also has its roots in the Old Testament. Those who read the Bible might know. Nowadays, we also hear the word Easter and whatnot. So let us start with the notion. Passover and Easter are the same. Elena already answered. She said
No.
no. Why? Why? Because
Yeah,
for
like
maybe for some people it might be the same, because it's not just
yeah,
to
true.
just for some people might be an, an obvious answer no. For some people might be an obvious answer to say yes. But of course, especially in the churches or in the gathering, like always use this word interchangeable. Hey, happy Passover or
Yeah, yeah.
happy Easter. You have to dress all white. You know,
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
dress white.
White
You have to
Sunday.
white. Yeah. So, but you briefly said it's not the same. Why?
Yeah, it's not the same. And as I was saying, like if you search of Easter, you see like a lot of pagan worship, or you see Easter bunnies, and that has nothing to do with yeah, with the Messiah. And also, if you like read the Bible, you don't see the word Easter, but still they have become like a very popular, yeah, holy day like Christmas, but they're like all linked together, and information about Easter is like very accessible. So if you search it up, you know that it has nothing to do with holiness. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh,
why.
you're nodding your head, Seth. You're saying yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with her. The origin is not the same. Everything, when you look up or study the concept of Easter, it leads directly to a pagan god whom they worship, other people worship, of course. So why would you then bring such a concept into a feast which is supposed to be set apart, and
Okay.
the origin is not set apart, it's not holy, it is paganism.
Mm-hmm,
So when you
mm-hmm.
do that, and especially also when you trace back like how the Passover came into existence and how Elohim instructed the people to observe this day, then you cannot like place them next to each other. And also, like, what I can bring up with another evidence is that when you look at different Bible versions, I think, I'm not sure if it is in the NIV or NLT version, but they replaced the word Passover for Easter. So even that shows also that this thing is quite new. It has
Yeah.
not been like, it has not been there from the beginning. So how is this, yeah, the same thing that we have to take as a holy day,
Yeah,
Elohim's set apart day? Yeah.
true.
Okay. Well, because you
And
guys are
you?
saying in Easter egg, and so. Oh wait, I just typed Easter Google. Let me. I just want to do
But to
something.
you, is it the same?
Yeah.
Because you
Give
never
me a
know. Maybe he
second.
will say no. It is
Yeah,
yes. He will
maybe
say
you will
yes. It's
say
the same.
yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes. Huh? I'm really curious because I will. Wait, I will share my screen. I think you guys see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So it just occurred to me because Helena said, of course, I'll answer your question later. But and Helena said indeed from Easter eggs, bunnies, um,
Yeah.
and all these things. And then the question is then, what has all these things to do with the Messiah?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my question is then, how then did all these things come into place and in such an in our modern celebration, because there are basically, I think, ways to celebrate it in scriptures, but now we have abandoned all these things, but we rather do this happy Easter with bunny eggs. Then we are searching for eggs, we are coloring them. Even our children at schools does it all. How do you think that all these things came into place?
You have to answer the question first. Our question first.
He said he will do it later.
Oh,
Oh,
later.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to reply on the one of Helena.
Oh, okay, so your question was, sorry, how this does, well, how does hoe dit allemaal is ontstaan, toch? Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in our daily
Mm-hmm.
way of working, the way we celebrate Easter. Now we go to church, then we do search the egg in churches, and so
I don't know exactly how, but like if you look into the world, like the how do you say it? The Catholic belief, the Romans have a lot of influence also in Christianity. They always say it's like a part, but it isn't actually. And like with them, it's all about serving their gods, and like they do a lot of sun worship. So like I think if I'm right, or Easter is also linked to Ishtar, is also like a god they worship. So at the end of the day, it's like you have been like, I will not say brainwashed, but like manipulated to serve their gods instead of Elohim. But
Mm-hmm.
they have
mhm.
made it so possible that yeah, we believe that that's actually true. So yeah, that's what I can say about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, but actually, we can actually do one as in a live study for right now. For let's share the origin of this.
Yeah, you
You can
can.
really do the preaching. You
Sorry.
end up with a word of wisdom. You can end up with the word of wisdom.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I will see. But I think yeah, okay, no, interesting, really interesting, interesting points. What you said, I also agree that Passover and Easter are not the same holiday. For the majority, it is. Even to bring it back to the day they celebrate it, right? For example, they would say that Easter always falls on the Sunday, as in the day that it was resurrected. Then they will say,
Mm,
"Hey, Sundays, Happy Easter," but
yeah.
it's just already contradicted because actually Easter, Passover, should be right on the day you slaughter. So even that on its own, it's a contradict, and
Yeah,
it
and
is
even the date is also every year it's on a different date.
Yeah.
yeah. True, true,
And there
true,
should be
true,
a
true.
specific moment where you observe this day. Every
And
year
and
it varies so much.
and it's not even so hard to search to find it. Eh? Well, sorry, I have to share my screen again because
Yeah,
this,
go on.
because you can just go literally. You just go to Wikipedia or just Wikipedia. You type in Easter. You scroll. You
Yeah.
scroll. You scroll. You scroll. You scroll. You scroll. Where was it?
Mm.
Uh,
But what I
as
also
in the date.
chip in, can I chip in something
Mm-hmm.
that I was also thinking about right now is that if we really try to follow the ways of the Most High as much as possible, and we use the Bible as guide, as instruction, as whatever you call it for yourself. Nowhere do you find an example that the people of old were celebrating Easter as a feast, as a
Yeah.
holy day. The disciple didn't do it. The Messiah
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Um, and the people who were even for a long time in Egypt and came out, that is also not how they did it. So then somewhere I think you should know that this is wrong to do it and keep on doing it. Especially if you find
Then,
or you get some information how it all came into being. Yeah, I don't
yeah, but
understand.
then it's always said, fire talk, we are no more under the law. So they
Yeah.
also have to explain that. But tomorrow there's a dedicated session for that. My brother Chris will dissect everything. Today we
Yeah.
just have a few minutes just to conclude everything as really fast. But indeed, I totally agree that even the way we celebrate Easter is way different than before. Like as in the simplest form. Just to give one example, the day or the moment to celebrate Easter, because
Yeah.
Easter, quote unquote, Passover. Let's say Easter and Passover would be the same. It should be on the day of his death and not on the day of his resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we celebrate it. We say Easter or Resurrection Sunday. So
Yeah.
that's on its own. It's really key. And
Yeah.
even to go back to the day, for example, here you would even say that. Uh, so
Cannot do-
Mm.
the
Yeah.
this on this. Do you see the highlights?
I
Yeah.
need to zoom in a bit.
Yeah, I zoomed in. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you have to zoom in.
Yeah.
I have to zoom in. I have to zoom in. I have to zoom in. I can zoom in. I can zoom in.
No, no,
No, it's
we already
okay.
zoomed in. No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay. Because he already says that the first council of Nicaea established two rules, independent of the Jewish calendar and worldwide uniformity, which were the only rules for Easter explicitly laid down for the council. So basically, what they are saying that they separated themselves, let's say Easter, from the Hebrewic or the true biblical Passover. They separate the calculation from itself, and then thereby
Mhm.
then always fall on the Sundays, in on according to the Gregorian calendar. So
Yeah.
in this, only you just need 5 minutes to do research about Easter and Passover,
Yeah.
and then you would already see fun. Hey, this has indeed some loopholes. So yeah, it's really sad, but it's good to discuss this because it's good for us also to understand, because even now I'm also realize, hey, yeah, actually, it's um, it's something we really see. Wat zeggen ze over het hoofd? Ik zou zeggen over the head.
Over there.
Yeah, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't also know the spelling word.
Bring you come here. We need your translation. But
But it's
on a serious note, because then I do have a follow up question, which might bring everything home. Is then why do so many believers celebrate man-made holidays? It's an open question for you.
I think is
Keep thinking.
it. I think we hold on to the thing that has been taught from when we were younger. It was passed on from our parents and their parents. So if we look around us, and it is common to have these man-made holidays, people will not easily break that habit or that custom. It is actually everywhere. When the time approaches, when it's time for a holiday again of this western part of the world, or actually the entire world, it's being promoted. Even unbelievers,
yeah.
they take part in it. So
Like Christmas.
there's no difference anymore. There's no difference anymore. Even some Muslim people, Islamic people, I should say, sorry, they also they mingle themselves in these feasts. So it's a habit. It's become a custom. Everybody is following the crowds. What has been published outside, online, on television, being shared through people, we take it and we don't want to let go.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah.
agree.
That's
Oh,
what I
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And how was it for you to then? Because as
Me?
so you people never followed.
Of
Christmas,
course,
Easter.
of
Yeah, yeah.
course.
We were brought up
Ja,
like that.
It was a
jullie gingen sowieso wit
tradition.
dragen. Eerlijk, jullie gingen wit dragen.
Ik weet het.
I only
Ja.
did it once, I think, with Easter. Yeah, that was it. Was no,
Zie je? Zo,
no. But
dingen.
I'm not saying that I never was part
Yeah,
of it. I never said that.
yeah,
Oké.
true.
But I once followed the crowd. I followed the instructions of the pastor. He will share the program of the month, and then he will give some instructions like, okay, on Easter Sunday, we all have to wear white. Yeah, and I will wear white. I will come to the
Yeah.
church, and they have like created a special team for the day, for the whole service. So everything is so extra. But
Ja.
the concept, like the teaching, the doctrine about the feast itself, I never
Yeah.
heard it. I never
Oh,
heard
okay,
it.
so okay, yeah.
Yeah, same. Same. It's like with everything, Christmas always. When you're small, you see it on TV, Santa Claus. Hey. So yeah, you go through with it. And then you realize that, oh, that's not actually the truth. And then you need to switch your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So,
how did that switch go, if I may ask?
yeah, that was actually my question. Yeah, before.
Oh,
Great.
Um, um, now, of course, because of the teachings, but I noticed that when I was still home, but when my
Zij
mother
ook?
home
home.
Oh!
Oh
like
no.
That's
my
what
parents, or yeah, my mother especially, she was noticing like I wasn't like being hyped again about Christmas and stuff, and she was like, why why, and then I wanted to explain why it is not like the truth, and she was like, and it was a very um how do you say it, because she was so attached to the holidays of celebration that it's not easy to explain to someone why. So that was not very smart, als ik achteraf over nadenk. But yeah, I was looking what I was saying. I was looking up for myself, just googling. Okay, what does Christmas mean? The origin of Easter, and then you would just realize like, oh, that has nothing to do with the Messiah or with Elohim. So then I was like for myself, like, okay, I will not celebrate those holidays anymore.
Yeah.
And but it is harder when you like in a family like Christmas. Every year you're like celebrating, and
Yeah,
then it's
eating
like,
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
Christmas was the
yeah,
hardest one to like not mingle because it's very a family thing, from celebrating to not celebrating it.
Mm.
With
My
Easter it
mother
was
would
like,
use my
yeah, with
mother would use
Easter
the
it
reason
was
for,
much
yeah, we have to
easier.
come together, we
I
eat,
can't hear you. Sorry, you're talking at the same time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Elena,
prima.
continue.
um yeah, but with Easter it was much easier because Easter was only like, oh, we're going to church. We didn't celebrate it at home, but then at school we had past brunch or Easter brunch, Easter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had.
Yeah.
So yeah, but now it's like
For
I just say I don't celebrate holidays.
my mother,
You're stuck. Oh,
The connection, I think.
connection, I think. But yeah, maybe Stephanie, you can fill in your.
Yes. How did I switch? I can't really remember specifically how I switched, like from letting go of not only Easter, but
Yeah,
the
yeah,
man-made holidays. But of course, for me, it was through Monday class teachings and Hour of Restoration, and they really went in depth. And as soon as I knew all of this information and the history behind it, I couldn't like keep. I couldn't keep it. It was just going against my inner man. And what I also realized is that all of these man-made holidays, the main focus is celebrating.
yeah,
So everybody is in a high spirit, joyful, um, it's a feast, like a party. And all
Yeah.
of the set apart feast days of the Bible, they really, if you really like observe them well and properly, it brings you in a state of reflection, meditation. It brings your mind to Elohim, like Elohim centered. So there's a very big difference.
Yeah.
That is what I
Yeah.
realized when I like try to observe the days of Elohim, which He commanded us to do. So yeah, the way of like taking these days is totally different. It has become
Yeah.
different for me.
No, true. Yeah.
I was about to ask list because maybe some people might not even know the list of the man-made holidays. And the reason why I call them man-made holidays is it's in comparison with the scriptures, yeah. Comparison with the Bible. Like for example, in the Old Testament, you might see the holidays that they celebrated, but people would say, yeah, but in the New Testament they don't celebrate anymore, or they are of no value. Let me put it that way. Um, but then they replace it with their own holiday. For example, Christmas about the birth. Nobody talk about the birth of the Messiah to be
Yeah.
celebrated. All of a sudden, that's a celebration. Um,
Yeah.
and for but for example, the simple ones as the simple ones, the ones like the Day of Atonement or the Sabbats, all these feast days. Even if you will do Passover the right way, we still do it the wrong way,
Yeah, yeah.
all have been replaced with
Yeah.
a lot of feast days which were originally not in the scripture. And I do agree. I think it's also, of course, yeah, society has find its way in religion to just change whatever it wants like to change. So I realized that, okay, let me also share one more time a list of all feast days. I'm curious, and then we'll end home of all feast days. Perhaps you might agree, yes or no. And I realized, okay, these are the holidays 2023, 2024. And or maybe I have to zoom in. I hope you guys see it correctly. No, eh?
Oh, I cannot see it, but I
No.
Mm.
I
But
was on New Year's Day. What is a fifth? What a epiphany?
Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Epiphany. It's a good
I
one.
don't know that.
I don't
In
know that holiday, by the way. Yeah, I think
in
these are
But it's
more holidays
but
in
it looks
America,
like
exactly.
American
yeah,
feast days.
Yes,
very
Yeah.
yes.
American. Yeah, they have a lot of
Here
feast.
around this time, then people were then protesting at the in America. They were protesting at the town hall, if I'm correct.
Mm. Okay.
But so, for example, I think, but
Yeah.
for us, because we are living in the Netherlands, this is just a list, but I think it contains everything. For us, maybe might also have American listeners, right? Shout out to those who are listening from the USA. Shout out. New Year, yeah, that's a whole topic on its own. Epiphany, um,
Mm-hmm.
In a, in a, in a inauguration.
I will start with the ones I'm familiar with. So basically, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day
I
is
think
also
Christians rather celebrate Valentine's Day more than would
Yeah.
celebrate
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas or even Passover.
True.
Um, Palm Sunday, yes. Oh yeah. I even forgot about that one. Good
Yeah, good.
Friday. What's so
Yeah,
good about the Friday?
and they don't eat fish. No, no
Oh,
meat.
No
Sorry,
meat.
no
no
Yeah.
meat on Good Friday.
only rules, eh?
Yeah,
Resurrection Sunday, we just displayed it. Then people replace this with Easter Sunday, but we just said that it doesn't make sense actually. National Day of Prayer. I didn't know this existed, man.
didn't know either.
Yeah. But
But
Uh,
they have a
America.
lot.
So,
America.
Mother's Day. Do you know how difficult it is to if you have a mother who really loves to be
Oh,
to
Mother's Day was also something. Yeah.
I mean,
um,
no. Cool.
Father's Day? Yeah, Father's Day you can easily skip it if you don't celebrate it. Father's Day don't even care. They just expect maybe a bow tie or so. But for this one, also Mother Day, Father's Day. That's one. That's also really Independence Day. Yeah, we don't celebrate it, but also the 4th of July also have fits. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I heard I did not know much about this 4th of July of the fourth. There was also one with the 14th.
Yeah.
because the place where I work, they really talk about, was it June 14th? I think it was this
I
one.
think June
June.
14th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a whole hype, and the people. Then there was, of course, there was a crew. Those black people would say, "No, you cannot celebrate that. How dare you? Do you know the origin of it?" And I was like, "Oh no, I never. We are in the Netherlands. We don't celebrate such things." And I think, oh, Christmas, and for me, Christmas. I actually expected, which one? A Halloween. Halloween.
Oh, Halloween,
Halloween.
yeah.
I expected that one. Yeah. I
Okay.
really,
Also, a lot of believers are celebrating Halloween as well.
yeah, as well.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is just a list for people to realize. Okay, just assess your feast days. Just assess the feast days that you're having, that you're celebrating. Is it actually biblical? Why am I actually celebrating it? I think in our restoration we have this the simplest way to do a research. Just type in the origin of dot 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 dot.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah. Yeah.
the books are open.
Yeah.
Everything is open. So for those who are willing to serve Yah, for those who are willing to come closer to the Creator, willing to search the truth, really seeking purity, this might be a step to really tap into that in the truth. One of them is, of course, assessing your day, your year, basically your year calendar. What do you celebrate? What do you not celebrate? Which we actually have to celebrate. So this is maybe also a really good point for us also to reflect, and maybe even for those who are already abundant some of the list, there are also maybe things in the scriptures that you have not done, which we might also, it might be worth studying. For example, the Sabbath, maybe the Day of Atonement.
And
Yeah,
you do you keep all of the days?
Mm.
The feast in the Bible, do you keep them all?
yeah, as
Because
I
many
said,
may
yeah,
see it
New
as if
Year.
we keep them all.
You say, oh, hey, New Year. I don't wish people New Year.
No, I'm not
Uh,
talking about the man-made holidays. I'm talking about the
The
feast days of the Bible. Do you
Bible.
keep all of these set apart days? Because maybe for the listeners, it's also maybe interesting to know, because otherwise we like portray like an image that we all keep the days that are
Yeah.
found in the Bible.
um,
So my question to you
the,
is, do you keep these days, all of them?
that's why to answer your question first, to the
Yeah.
best of my ability, to the best of my ability. That's why I also said that you might have abandoned these feast days, but it's also worth studying the scriptures to know more how to do it. What is the right way? For example,
Yeah.
people might still do Passover, but still wrong, right? Um, those who would do the Passover on the right day. Let me put it that way. Or, for example, you might still do the Day of Atonement, but the way you did it 5 years ago is totally different from now. Um, and the unleavened bread, the Feast of Tabernacles. There's quite a list, but it's a journey. It's a journey to the best of my ability. I am not keeping all the feast days perfectly,
Mhm.
so surely not. I might observe them, when it happens. Then I study, then you read, you think about it, um, uh, um, then you make the study on that day concerning that. But no, we are also still on that journey, and that's the whole purpose of this, right? Having that conversation, being open, realizing that we are all seeking holiness and truth. So I'm also curious, those in the comment section, are you, what is your journey? Maybe you can share your journey in your comment section. If not, tomorrow there's also another session. You might also share your journey, your struggles, your pain, your successes. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we will indeed have an in-depth session with Brother Chris, touching unleavened bread and the Passover on the theme, the holy days of Israel. So, any last words before we round up?
Close it well. Thank you.
And then
We said it all.
Yes.
set it all. Then, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Listeners, let's try our best to seek righteousness, holiness, and purity. And I hope to see you tomorrow and, of course, next week also. So stay safe, be safe. indeed have a nice Shabbat Shalom.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.